Hello and welcome or welcome back to Sarah Stitch. I am Sarah. I am a 28-year-old knitter who lives in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is right across the river from Manhattan. And in my day-to-day, I am an accountant, but when I am not working, I am knitting. This is my knitting podcast. So I'm here to talk to all of you about my works in progress, finished objects, acquisitions, plans. A little light on the plans today because I did my fall, autumn knitting inspirations and plan video last week, but there's still additional plans now. And yeah, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, my name is sarahs.stitch. Follow me here on YouTube if you want to see my podcasts. I try and post a video every week. I've been pretty good about it since I got back from my trip, but we'll see. And I've been trying to post on my Instagram a little bit more. And also anything I talk about, dyers, projects, all of that good stuff should be linked below. But if I forget anything, please do let me know. So let's get started with finished objects. So today I do actually have, let's start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Anchors, I don't know if it's the Anchors T or, it's the DK weight one. You can see the rib here, and I knitted out of tweed. And this is knit out of Woolberry Fiber Company Tweed DK, and the color I believe is Pacific, which is from last year's Coastal collection, which was her Bethany's spring summer collection last year. I want to say it was pre-order, but this is it is a pattern by Petite Knit, who I'm sure everyone knows, and I believe I knit a size small, so that's my Anchors. Now, actual finished objects. I'm very proud of this one. Finally have some socks. So these are my Regia Perfect socks. The colorway will be either linked on this or shown on the screen, or I'll have it in the description because I can never remember the name. It's either Island, Summer, something like that. Something summer related, water related, something. And these are just vanilla socks. I did a 2x2 cuff, 64 stitch sock, just a normal heel flap and gusset. And then I'm a size US 9, which is a European 39-40, I think. And I do 80, usually around 80 rows for the foot, and then just a normal, wedge kind of toe. If you're looking for a pattern, I loosely follow Crazy Sock Lady vanilla sock patterns just as a guideline, kind of mostly just for the heel. But yeah, that's a really good vanilla sock pattern. She has it for all of the different knitting sock methods. And these were knit on 9-inch circulars. And they do, in fact, match pretty perfectly. The second one I made is off by a couple rows, like the repeat, but not a big deal. I think my gauge changed slightly in between because I was knitting one in Europe and one here, so one had AC, one did not. And I think my gauge just slightly changed, but not a big deal. So these are my finished objects. I finally have a finished pair of socks. It feels like it's been actual ages since I had some socks finished, so I'm glad to be back in the sock knitting realm. Next, let's go through works in progress. So first of all, I have a Marius, which has gotten a ton of work done on it since I last showed you all. I really should start putting stitch markers in my projects when I show you them, so I can actually see how much progress I'm making, because it feels like I haven't made much progress from my last podcast, which was like 2-ish weeks ago. And I've been knitting a ton, so I don't really know what I've been working on, so I feel like I need to start putting stitch markers into things. But this is the Marius. I'm knitting it, it's a Sandnes Garn pattern. Let's grab the, ooh no, I don't have the book. Shit. That's not good. I'm knitting it out of Sandnes Garn Sisu, and the 3 colors I'm using are, oh gosh, okay. I have this is the main color. It is color 1053. It's this really nice like mid gray marl heather situation, not marl, heather. And then I'm using 1032, which is obviously lighter gray and gray and 6062, which is this blue, as the contrast colors. So here, without further interruption, I wonder what's attached. I will show you how much progress I've made, which again is a lot. We actually have something going on besides stockinette. I have pretty much, stand up to show you, the entire body done. So I have to finish doing the bind off for the shoulders, but this is the back. So this is the top part. I'm really happy with how this turned out. And then 1200 years of stockinette, and then here we have the bottom, which is just part of this top motif just on the bottom, because that's what my dad had wanted. This I am knitting this for my dad as a gift, hopefully sometime in this century. It is very nice to know all I have left is sleeves, which is not all, but like it feels a lot better than having an entire body to get done. So that is where we're at. The neck has been bound off. If anyone would like to see, this is what the floats look like. There's only 1 or 2 rows that I was really catching my floats down here, but other than that, it pretty much, I think it's all like 5 stitches at most between the colors, so I wasn't really catching my floats. I think that's all I have to say of the Marius. It's a pattern that you can only get through Sandnes Garn, and it's in one of their like magazine situations. So you have to first find a yarn shop that carries the magazine pattern book thing. And then also I think they have a minimum yarn requirement that you have to get to, which I believe they require you buy 5 balls to buy the pattern book. So that's just a forewarning, heads up situation if you want to make it. If you do make it, I would maybe recommend not knitting it in Sisu, because the patterns are in for Sisu, but it is a maybe sport, probably fingering weight yarn. Sorry, I'm just trying to put things away as I take them out. See how that goes. It is a fingering weight / sport. I kind of feel like it's fingering. So it's taking forever. I'm knitting it on 3.25 millimeter needles, and the ribbing is 2.75, which the ribbing is the same that was in the, or maybe the ribbing's 2.5. I'm doing the same needle size that's in the pattern, and I know I'm doing a 3.25 for the larger needles, which is all the stockinette and the color work. So that is that. Next, I will show my Sila, which I don't think had sleeves last time I showed it. So we're at the awkward, when was it? Late teens, like cold shoulder top length, because I do my sleeves first usually. So this is the Sila sweater by Yona Haitala, who is the editor for Lina magazine. And this is her pattern that she came out with 2 years ago and was hosting a knit along for. I'm not sure if the knit along is still going on or not. It may be, it may not be. I have no clue, because I don't pay attention to things because I'm a dum-dum. But regardless, the sweater is amazing. Yarn first. Okay, so I'm knitting it out of Explore, and it's in fibers. This top, the collar, and the cuffs. So all the ribbing is going to be knit out of this non-superwash DK, and then the body, as you can see, is knit out of boucle. And it's amazing. It is like the lightest, fluffiest yarn I've ever worked with in my life. Which is not saying much because I've not been knitting for that long, but not that long. I've been knitting for a few years, and it's very nice to work with the boucle after the learning curve. The colorway for both is Tawny, which is one of Allie's tonals. It was available in the National Parks pre-order, which is when she came out with both the non-superwash base and the boucle base. I will show you the cakes. Please excuse the messiness of the boucle cake. It is getting used and abused. And then this is the non-superwash. The non-superwash is amazing. Rebecca from Crayabea is knitting her own design out of the non-superwash right now, and it looks gorgeous. The way Allie dyes, everything is like super, super solid. I'm not alternating skeins. It just fab. And I went down a full millimeter in the body needle because my gauge was super loose. The pattern is originally made, I think, for either boucle and sari held together, or like a fuzzy chonky boy. I think it's made for brushed alpaca from Sandnes Garn originally, which blooms a lot. So I went down to a 5mm needle, which is what I'm knitting the body in, like body and arms, but everything that's not ribbing is 5mm needle. Ribbing is 4mm. And oh, if you liked the Lento, fabulous pattern. It's like as quick as the Lento because it's technically on the same size needles. It feels like it's not going to use a ton of yarn. I will report back when I'm done, but it feels very like light. It's kind of an open gauge or fabric, but it doesn't feel like see-through. It's amazing. I'm obsessed with it. I feel as though there will be many Silas in my future. So that is my Sila. And next, I think this is really my only other whip I've kind of worked on this week because or the last 2 weeks, because the Marius took me forever, and then it got to a point where I was happy with it, so now I've cast on more things, because why not? So if you have seen my autumn knitting plans video, you will have seen the baby beginnings of this. This is the Lanark sweater pullover by Rebecca from Crayabea, and I'm pretty far. Like, that's no joke for casting this on literally last week. I don't even know when I cast it on. Last weekend, I think. So this is where we're at. It is knit out of it's all half fisherman's rib, and then there is a folded collar, and I will be putting a zipper in. I'm knitting the size, I don't know if she does letters or numbers. I'm knitting the 3rd size. Same needles as what's in the pattern. I didn't gauge swatch because I'm a terrible person, but I feel like it is doing pretty well. Oh, I do have a stitch marker on this. This is a little tiny tomato from Hello Lavender, which is from the joint collection she did with Woolberry last year for the garden collection. It's a little tomato. It came with like 3 extra just pendant-y kind of stitch markers, and this is my first Hello Lavender stitch marker I've gotten with a lobster clasp on it, which I'm loving because I have one with just a hoop for my needles, but because they're so pretty and they're like a little chonky, but like in a good way, I feel like it kind of messes me up when I'm knitting in the round when I get to like the bigger object as a stitch marker. So my stitches are always a little wonky by that stitch marker. So I got the lobster clasps so I could have pretty little stitch markers. And I got tomatoes because I am a Jersey girl through and through. And I feel as though we have the world's best tomatoes. I love a good tomato sandwich. If you're not from New Jersey or just don't know, it's literally a sandwich on white bread with sliced tomato on it. Sometimes cheese if you're feeling crazy, but no. Also sometimes lettuce if you're feeling really crazy, but also no. If it's a good ripe Jersey tomato, you don't need anything other than just tomato and bread and a little salt. So good. If you've never tried it, you need to try it. I'm a Jersey elitist. I know, I'm the worst, but we have the best fruit and veggies. We literally have a sign that says Jersey Fresh right here. Put it here. And all of our things that come from here have it on them because we just have such great stuff. Corn, oh, don't even get me started on corn. I refuse to eat corn that's not from New Jersey. So I only eat corn for 3 months of the year. And it's tragic, but I'm just not gonna eat other corn. It's not good. That was a tangent to say I have a tomato stitch marker because I love tomatoes. And my lanark. So the goal is to have this done before I leave for Scotland in almost 2 weeks. So that means I have to knit, I want to get the body done like in the next week. So I need to knit 6 centimeters a day in the body and half fisherman's rib to get to that point. And then I have 2 sleeves to do and a facing and a zipper to put in and block it and dry it before I leave, which listing it all out like that seems like it may be impossible, but that's okay. I think I can do it. It's a long weekend this weekend. Definitely gonna be knitting the whole time. Probably not, but a girl can dream. A girl can dream that she can have this to take a picture in Edinburgh, where Rebecca's from, and this would be like a perfect fall garment, outerwear situation for Edinburgh and damn it, I lost stitches. Edinburgh and like Highlands, Scotland area. But so this is my lanark, and that's really all I've been knitting on. Again, feels like not much, but probably because I'm not being as chaotic the last 2 weeks and kept working on a million things at once. I still have all my socks on my needles and haven't been touched other than those. So that is it for works in progress. I do have a couple acquisitions. I think some of them came before I filmed last time, but I forgot about them, and then some came after. So the first things which came, I'm pretty sure came before. Sorry, I'm just checking what time it is. Okay. This, I'm pretty sure came before. This is Woolberry. These are my collective skeins from June, maybe? No, July. August? I'm not sure. I've been in the collective, Woolberry Collective, for a while, which is a membership that Bethany has where you can get 1 or more skeins of either tonal, variegated, or both throughout the year. It's only open to register twice a year. You get discounts on your orders, free shipping. It's like kind of a thank you for saying thank you for supporting us, but also you don't really have to panic buy a bunch of yarn if you don't want it, but you're always guaranteed to get whatever you want. She makes beautiful colors. We all know this. So this year, after January, which I'm still kicking myself for, I decided I'm just gonna get a sock set every month. So I have a year of Woolberry socks. Have I knit any of them yet? No, but I'm still doing it. So I think this is July. This was the July sock set. It's called Meet Me by the Coast is the variegated. So in all the sock sets, the variegated is the main color. And then the mini is called Beach Reeds, and it's this really pretty like olivey dune grass green kind of situation. If you're not focusing on me. So I have a sock set, and then I also got 3 skeins of Beach Reeds, the tonal on Berry DK, and this is maybe probably a better way to see it than in the mini. But I got this to make a Tolsta, I think. I can't remember what I bought it for. I got 3, so I'm assuming it's for a Tolsta, which I have not yet made. So, Tolsta. Maybe I could whip this up before we go to Scotland. That seems way too ambitious. And then the other acquisition I have is my Patreon yarn from Molly from a Homespun House. The minis have already been wound up, but I believe the minis, ooh, I don't. The minis were like 2 of the sock set colors, and then, or yeah, 2 of like the speckle sock set colors. I think one was, I don't know. I think one came with it. Acid was the tonal, I think, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. 3 minis came. I'll see if I can find a picture of them, but I'm pretty sure I don't have them. But the July 2023 sock set is Slip and Slide, and it is this really pretty, like kind of moody, but kind of not, variegated, and then or speckled, sorry. It's probably a better view of the speckles. And then the mini is also like a really pretty variegated tonal, not tonal, also kind of speckled, bluey green. Oh, it's so pretty. And I feel like this is such a good like transition into fall sock set, because it's still kind of bright and poppy, but not like summer, but also not like fall. So love this. I know I say this every time, but like maybe this is gonna be my next sock set I cast on after I finish all the other socks I have, which is a lot. So that is all my acquisitions. And now I just have one quick plan, video, part, whatever I'm trying to say. One additional plan that came across my Instagram the other day, which is, of course, the Steven Knits MCAL for this year, which is called Geo Gradient. He finally announced it. The colors were announced today. I'm obsessed. I was debating not doing it this year because I don't really wear them as much as I should. And it's probably because I have, like, the colors I've knit my shawls in the past have been pretty wearable. However, I don't wear them often. It's a lot of money, blah, 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 blah. However, this year it's a gradient. And I was like, oh, sign me up, done. In, you got me, Steven. And then in the video, it kind of seems like it's gonna be like go from light to dark, which I love. So we're doing it. I need to figure out which kits I would like to have on my priority list. I am planning on buying a kit this year just because I feel like it's tough to pick colors on a computer screen that would match and are the same, like undertones, tones, all of that. That would kind of go, it's not a true fade, but like it seems like all of the kits pretty much fade from either lightest to darkest or like cool to warm or something like that in contrast world. So I feel as though it will be less mental stress, taxing, etc. on me to just buy a kit. And no surprise, I'm leaning towards a brown because, you know, I don't have enough brown. I only have 2 sweaters and maybe a few accessories planned for the fall in brown. So just big brown girl. But the browns were really speaking to me. Obviously the blues and the greens. I don't think I'm feeling a poppy, like pop-y color. This year, not that I've ever had a pop in mine, but I feel like I will potentially wear it a lot more if there isn't a super bright color in it. But also, I feel like it would be fun to just knit one bright color in it. So if you are also making or planning on doing the Geo Gradient, let me know what you're thinking for colors, because I truly can't decide. And realistically, I probably will be panic buying a kit on Saturday. And I may hate it because I usually panic buy and then hate things, but that seems like the best option right now. So I'm thinking either browns or there's really pretty like light pink ones, but I'm not a light pink girl because my skin is just light pink, and that just seems like a waste. So not a waste, but like it just feels like all the same. So I'm thinking that, or like one of the moody greenies, or like a moody blue navy situation. But also, I think it's the West Knits bicycle kit that's like a gray gradient. Gorgeous. It's truly stunning, and I'm positive whatever shawls are made out of that gradient are going to be gorgeous. But I'm trying not to do black anymore because someone on the internet told me not to. So circle back to my seasons, but so I'm trying to steer away from black because, in their defense, black probably is not my greatest color. I look much better in like a deep navy or a dark brown or like a super dark green. So that's what I'm thinking. I think either right now the chestnut set, I'm feeling the Westwool kits mostly. Not for any particular reason, but I did a singles shawl last year, so I don't really want to do singles again. And I've never used that wool before, so I'm feeling it. And I'm thinking either the chestnut one, I think it's called Pickle, which would be wild because there's a bright color in there. Not wild, but like there's a bright color in there, but also it has that beautiful, like super dark, almost black green. I think it's called Wellington, which I love. Or I think there's like honestly, I would do it in a heartbeat with the black one, which I think is called, I can't remember. It has Copenhagen in it and Dutch Skies, but it's not called either of those. It's like a play on a town, I think. But the gray one, I'll pop them all on the screen. But the gray one, which I shouldn't do, but like I just love like that fade. Or there was like a really pretty like bluey green teal situation. But that's what I'm thinking. Let me know. Hopefully I have this posted before the kits are live, so someone can give me some sort of guidance, because I don't know. I'm probably even gonna panic and pick something with hot pink in it. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's just one more fall plan. But yeah, I think that's it. If you stuck around, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the video if you liked it and want to see more. Leave a comment. Please let me know which West Knits kit I should pick. I don't think I asked for anything else. Let me know what you were working on, what you were drinking, all of the good things. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye.